Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I am Peter, that is Tim, and we're working our way through Tales from the Crypt, the original HBO anthology series, and this is of course going to be episode 6 of season 2. It's called The Thing from the Grave. Full spoilers for the episode as always. So this one has a couple of familiar faces in it. The first name that I recognise just from the name is Terry Hatcher, who of course went on to play Lois Lane in Lois and Clark, and she's in Desperate Housewives and a bunch of other random things here or there, but that's her most famous roles. The name that I did not recognise was Miguel Ferrer, but he's actually he's like the sleazy businessman in RoboCop.
Yeah, as well as like the sleazy businessman and everything else.
Yeah, and this as
like,
well. Yeah, that's his.
I feel like he always pops up as like that kind of jerk.
That's his role. Yeah. What I think is really funny though is that this one's right after the last one because it's also kind of love triangle as well.
As well as the one before it, I feel like had some similarities to the voodoo one.
Oh yeah, I can see. This one has similarities to that. Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So, but like both like the last two episodes, it had some similar stuff going on.
I would say this one's better than the last two though.
Yeah, I'd say it's more enjoyable.
Well, it's written and directed by Fred Dekker, which would help explain that. Fred Dekker, funnily enough, actually directed RoboCop 3, which is the low point of his career. He did, however, also direct The Monster Squad and Night of... Oh god, what's that movie called?
Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps, thank you. Night of the Comet went to my head. I was like, no, it's not Night of the Comet. He didn't direct that. Yeah, Night of the Creeps. He directed that. So he's done some fun movies, and I think this one kind of fits into that fun kind of. Even though this was the 90s by the time this was made, it still very much feels like the 80s. I mean, if nothing else, Stacey, who's Terry Hatcher's character, her apartment is like the most 80s thing I have ever goddamn seen.
And I think that's what stood out to me about this one is I kind of like the way, just the way it was shot and kind of the feel of it is what made it kind of enjoyable to me.
I really liked the music. It was very sort of like synthy, like love music from the 80s. Because basically the way this one works is we actually start off in the middle of the story. We get a scene where Mitch, who's Miguel Ferrer's character, kills Devlin, who we don't know at this point who he is exactly yet, but he turns out to be a photographer who works with Stacey. Stacey's a model, and Mitch is her manager / boyfriend. And we see Mitch kill Devlin and bury him in the woods. But we then cut back to what actually happened beforehand. So we're at a photo shoot and we see Devlin taking her photos, but then Mitch comes in and causes a bit of a scene and gets really upset when Devlin implies he may be distracting people or wasting time.
He is very, very over the top.
He escalated. As I said to you as we were watching, I said that escalated quickly because he very quickly starts shouting at him and all sorts.
I would like hate to imagine like just the person that like gets his order wrong at Starbucks or something like they are a dead man.
Yeah, pretty much. But once everyone leaves and Devlin talks to Stacey, he's like, right, well, does he ever hit you? Or he says something along those lines, that sort of sense. Look, if you ever need a place to go, if things get rough, here's a spare key to my studio. Now, at the time, I was thinking, okay, a little bit creepy, but maybe it's not as creepy as like his house key. Like, it's like, oh, this is not where he actually lives. This is like, a neutral place where he happens to have a spare bed and there's like a TV and like some food and stuff, but it's not where he actually lives. And then it cuts to him like just like falling asleep watching TV here as if he actually does live here in the studio. So, okay, a little bit weird, a little bit creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind that though. She shows up, and they have one of the best romantic scenes in this show, bar none.
Oh,
because
certainly.
of course it's his studio, and we've seen him already use this earlier, where he's got this like this beach sunset backdrop, where he like shoots the photographs, and he turns that on, but the other lights aren't on, so it's basically the two of them in silhouette with like this sunrise or sunset behind them.
Yeah, and this. Oh, sorry.
On you go.
Oh no, yeah, just saying. Yeah, this looked really cool. It almost like felt like something out of like an '80s, romantic comedy or something.
It was like cheesy, but it felt very intentional. Like he knew exactly what he was doing, and like this romance was a lot sweeter than the one she had with her, dopey, not dopey, but asshole boyfriend.
Yeah.
But of course, the asshole boyfriend's spying on them, and he sees them at the window.
Well, you're skipping over a very pivotal.
Well, I wasn't
point.
skipping. I was going to go back.
Okay.
Yeah. The necklace. Timmy, tell us about the necklace.
All right, we watched this together, and I feel like we didn't really comment it then, but I don't know if you were thinking it. This is kind of crazy. He gives her this necklace
after giving her a key to his house.
Yeah.
Now, don't know. They might have been working together for a while. They might have,
See, I don't know. I was kind of wondering that, like, how well do these people know each other? Because it seems like he seems to be like making a lot of like kind of guesses as to like what's going on. Like, it doesn't seem like he ever really knows for sure.
Sure.
He's like, oh, like that's some boyfriend you got there. Does he ever, do anything? Like, like maybe he met him before or something. But it doesn't seem like, they've been good friends for a while now or anything. But regardless, though, he gives her this necklace, which already it's kind of weird because presumably this is even if they know each other a little bit, this is still like the first time they kiss or whatever. And he gives her this like crazy necklace that he just very casually says, "This was given to me by a blind woman." It's like
it would be different if he said this was given to me by my blind, aunt or my blind, grandma or whatever. Like, but it's not blind woman. Just random blind woman gave me this necklace.
And it's like a Mayan god or goddess necklace.
Oh, I have no
something.
idea. I have no idea what he said next. It was basically just blah 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 blah. But if you make a promise to someone and give them this, it'll always be kept no matter what. And he says, if anything bad happens, I'll always be there. That's I promise. He says that. But of course,
this is just like so like I don't know if they were intentionally trying to make it like kind of like cheesy or something, but it's just like so crazy how casually this is brought up, and then like
I feel like because of the whole backdrop thing and the cheesy kiss, and I feel like it's meant to be kind of like not realistic. It's meant to feel kind of heightened. So she has this necklace. But anyway, this is when it sort of cuts back to what we seen at the start, because Mitch sends him a voicemail saying blah 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 blah, she's in trouble, she won't talk to me, come out to my cabin. So he lures him out there to kill him, and he kills him. And then we jump ahead, and it's a week later, and Stacey's worried. She's not heard from Devlin in a while. I mean, it's been a week. She's not thought to actually go to his house in that week, because she does this after this scene, and I thought, wait, you haven't done that yet? You've got a key to his house, and you never thought to...
But also what's weird is, like, I'm guessing that it's only her that misses him. Like, I would assume that he probably had other photographing gigs and
clients.
Stuff that, like,
clients,
like
maybe friends, family, these kinds of things.
But no, I guess everyone's not worried except for her.
Yeah, she's the only one worried. This is when we see her apartment, because Mitch comes over and gives her all this spiel about, oh, give me another chance, maybe something happened. Yeah, I'm willing to forgive. He just, he gives her this whole speech about forgetting, Devlin. But she goes over to his house and she hears the answering machine. Although, first of all, she finds his groceries on the counter, and the tub of ice cream. Just she tries to open it, and there's this wonderful squelching sound effect as she lifts it up, and it just sort of it goes in because it's melted. So she goes to grab it, and it just concaves immediately.
It sounded like so cartoony, like reminding me of something like from Ren and Stimpy, or like
I can't even do a squelching noise. That was my best effort, but yeah, it's just really over the top.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad person, but I feel like if I just brought groceries home and like heard someone was in trouble, I'd probably still be like, all right, let me just quickly put this stuff in the freezer. And
but to be fair though, you wouldn't assume that you were going to be dead. You'd think I'll be back.
True.
In a few hours or whatever. Yeah. So you might not. Then again, you'd probably put the ice cream in the freezer. Right, this Ben and Jerry's is going in.
Yeah.
Right,
that is essential.
Yeah. Now I'm going to go. Yeah. So yeah, so she listens to the recording of the thing, so she's about to hear what happened, and Mitch shows up behind her and grabs her, takes her out to his cabin, ties her up in the bed in her underwear, and basically says, "I'm just going to have to kill you because you know too much. It's a shame because you're really hot. But before I kill you, I'm probably going to rape you a whole bunch because why not?" I mean, not in those words, but that's what he's basically saying.
Basically,
to her. Yeah. In fact, it's funny because he's got his little bag and he pulls out a gun, he puts the clip in, and then he pulls out, which I'm pretty sure is like a whip.
Yeah.
What? So you're going to whip her as well? Like, it's going to be a proper kinky sex session before you kill her?
Yeah, that guy's into some freaky stuff.
Yeah, it's just the way he casually does it. Like everything about this is everything's so casual and just like everyone just does these things. I'll give you my key to my house. I'll give you this necklace that a blind woman gave me. You know, people just keep doing things in this, and it feels very like you would never. Oh damn! But of course,
hey, we're not in that world that high fashion photography world.
True. Maybe. If you're a photographer, this sort of thing happens to you all the time. I don't know.
Different lifestyle. Yeah.
But of course, Devlin wakes up and comes out the grave because, well, first of all, the name of the episode for a start. Secondly, he get killed far too early in that episode to not come back.
Yeah.
So he comes back. He's all zombified and he grabs him. Of course, the twist being that because he made the promise with this necklace that he would be there no matter what. That means including death. So he grabs Mitch and pulls him into the grave and like basically buries him alive with him. After, of course, actually, I don't want to forget the cutting of the fingers with the shovel.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool.
I like the way that zombie makeup looked. I feel like if there's one thing this show really excels at is I always like the zombies. The one we had a couple episodes before I really liked. I always like the Crypt Keeper. They got their zombie game on lock at this point.
Yeah, I think I really like this episode, and I think if I was recommending this to like new people, I would highly suggest that if you have no nostalgia for like this like type of stories from this era, like the 80s, like early 90s, late 80s kind of stuff, there's probably not a whole lot here for you. If you come in wanting like, I don't know, grounded stories or like. You have to go in and be like, this is going to be kind of silly, kind of surreal, not, I just... Well, that said, though, the acting was much better in this episode than the last one, because the last one was, all over the place.
What I would say is, like, this episode opens with the Crypt Keeper looking at an issue of Play Dead with like, a, skimpy-looking corpse on the cover. So I think if you're cool with that, like... then you'll be good with this episode.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you're cool with some of the Crypt Keeper's puns, you'll know you're good for the rest of the show, probably. It's just about getting into it with the right attitude, I feel. Because I feel like I really like this, but if I just showed this episode to someone who'd never seen this show and didn't really watch old horror movies and they went in expecting like, oh, is it like, like each episode's like The Conjuring? I'm like, no, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
That's not what this is. And that's okay. Like, that's fine.
Especially like I feel like they don't do shows like this anymore. Like I do think we actually have a lot of good horror on TV nowadays, but it is more on the serious side. And
Scream Queens aside.
yeah. Other than that, but
this is more like heavily like dosed in black humor. Like there's always a sense that even when the story's kind of a serious thing, that you're watching it as an observer, waiting for the bad person to get their comeuppance. There's an element of, of voyeurism involved, kind of thing, where you're the voyeur and you're a bit of a creep because you want something bad to happen to these people. That's kind of how it feels.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see what type of tone the new series, tries to do. If it'll,
I have no idea what it like. Part of me thinks it'll be kind of black humor again, but part of me thinks I don't know if that really works today. Like, maybe they're going to go full on like, no, each episode's an hour long, like essentially kind of like a horror movie, but with just a little bit shorter,
Yeah.
You know, like, are they going to try and do something where, oh, this episode was as good as like a Conjuring, or this episode was as good as a Halloween, or what? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mean actually be as good as Halloween, because
Right,
that's
right.
impossible. But you know what I mean. Like, try and actually make a good slasher movie episode, or a good whatever.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I wonder if they're gonna bring in like, like recognizable names and stuff to work on it, and also it's on like basic cable, so how much will they be able to get away with? And it'll be
You
interesting
say
to see.
that, but Good Behavior, which we reviewed last week on TNT, was pretty, like, for you know,
Okay.
you could almost buy it was on HBO or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe with a bit more budget, I suppose. But honestly, watching that and seeing the quality
Mhm.
of it and how like sort of like adult it got, I was kind of like, oh, I'm actually kind of excited for Tales from the Crypt now. This feels.
Oh, it's good to know because I haven't really watched anything from TNT for a while. Like I know, like obviously stuff like AMC is
Hmm.
doing kind of, serious and gets away with like a lot of
I
stuff.
think TNT's like trying to get into that sort of side of
Okay,
things a bit more and more.
cool.
But but yeah, that's this week's Tales from the Crypt. We went on a bit of a tangent about the new one that's coming next year. Hopefully that's good. Uh, we won't be finished this in time for that. Obviously, I'm still going to review the new one with Connor. Maybe Tim will join us for that. I don't know if he's eager. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Thank you very much. We will see you next time.